Up next is delegations and presentations. We have a presentation from our engineering manager and project coordinator. I believe they're in the audience and coming forward. Ms. Campbell and Mr. Mazzarani, are you here? I don't see them quite yet. There's Ms. Campbell. And welcome, Ms. Campbell. Is Mr.
Hello.
Mazzarani joining us as well?
He is not. I am on my own tonight.
Okay, and thank you very much. I understand you have a presentation for us.
I do, Your Worship.
And I believe the clerk's working on the shared screen process. Thank you. It's coming. There we are. And go ahead, Ms. Campbell.
Okay, thank you, Your Worship, and hello to members of council and anyone else watching. I'm excited to give you an update on our Climate Action Plan initiative and to discuss some of the work that's been planned and undertaken to date. We've got a great team working on this project. So if we can just go to the next slide, I'll give you an outline of what I will discuss this evening.
There we go.
Okay, so just give a background and current status update, and then discuss our corporate emissions and community emissions, both from the work that we've done to date and the path forward. And then we'll talk briefly about how council can help to support this work. Next slide, please. So Loyalist Township enrolled in FCM's Partners for Climate Protection program in late 2017. There are 5 milestones for each of the corporate and community greenhouse gas reduction streams. And the plan is to have the work complete, the 5 milestones complete within 10 years of joining. So this project has a line of sight with a number of existing corporate plans and a symbiotic relationship with some of them. So for the strategic plan, it meshes well with the strategic objective to be a municipal leader in climate action and environmental stewardship. For the asset management plan, there are requirements for climate change mitigation and adaptation in the work that we do through our asset management plan. And in the infrastructure master plan, the evaluation of projects will include climate change mitigation and adaptation criteria. It's important to note that climate action projects often have very reasonable payback periods and are generally fiscally prudent, as well as important for demonstrating corporate social responsibility. And so I encourage council to consider a variety of revenue sources that are available for this work as we move forward through the plan. Next slide, please. Thank you. So the current status is that for corporate emissions, we've completed milestones 1 and 2, and we're in progress on milestone 3, which we expect to have complete by the end of the year. And for the community emissions, we have milestone 1 in progress, and milestones 2 and 3 are expected to be complete by the end of the year. An interesting fact that Loyalist Township's corporate hydro, natural gas, and fuel costs averaged nearly $2 million annually between 2015 and 2017. So we've made lots of progress on a bunch of things since October of last year when you last heard about the project. And we have some great teams in place to work on both the corporate and community pieces. Next slide, please. Just a refresher on the corporate emissions. So the 49% reduction from 2016 levels by 2031 was set in 2019, and this represents a reduction of 3,660 tons of CO2 equivalent in 2031, as compared to the business as usual scenario, AKA do nothing. Next slide, please. So the path forward for corporate emissions, we have a steering committee that's been put together with representation from all departments acting as champions for the various departments, and feedback will be sought from all staff. There are a number of climate action opportunities and ideas that we're considering, and we're looking at 3 different types of projects. So consideration during infrastructure renewal projects. An example of that is the blowers at the Bath sewage treatment plant are coming due for replacement. So we're looking at replacing those with more efficient equipment and looking at adding dissolved oxygen monitoring so that we make sure that we're only running that equipment as much as we need to provide the correct amount of dissolved oxygen needed for the treatment process. Larger capital projects, we can add climate action initiatives to those. So an example of that is with the Roads Garage expansion project, we're looking at improving the structural capacity of the roof to eventually house photovoltaics in the future and what that would cost. For focused projects, an example of that is the streetlight replacement that was done in 2018, where we replaced all of the existing streetlights with LED streetlights. The engineering division supports this project, or this program, sorry, by providing research and cost benefit analyses for climate action opportunities, for developing the climate action plan and putting the report together, and by assisting with the implementation of projects and providing ongoing analysis, monitoring, and reporting of results. Next slide, please. So for the community emissions, to date, the technical work has been focused on the inventory and forecast, and those are generally complete. We're just working with some of the larger generators in the community to understand their plans and work this into our community plan moving forward. The reduction targets will be brought to council later this year, but we plan on doing a great deal of consultation with residents, community groups, and other businesses in order to put these targets together. And just a note that the community targets will likely be far less aggressive than the corporate target. The community engagement and marketing team, we've been lucky to have some funding to bring Dan Hendry on board to assist us, and fortunate to have Hillary working with us currently to assist this project and develop this strategy and reach out to community stakeholders. And this work is being planned from July until December of this year. Next slide, please. So the path forward for community emissions, we have the community engagement and marketing campaign planned, which is a bottom-up approach where we plan to gather feedback on the reduction targets and potential initiatives and work those into our climate action planning. And we'll do this through engaging the community and empowering involvement through consultation for larger projects which could be implemented in the community. So we plan an information blitz with council's blessing for July, where we want to get residents and other stakeholders excited about climate action, and we plan to do this by engaging younger residents through virtual camp content and others through a variety of different media, messaging through a variety of different media forms as listed in the slide. And we've already had some great buy-in to this from some of our partners for this work. Next slide, please. So this project represents an opportunity to cultivate environmental, social, and economic sustainability within the community. As a result, the term Resilient Loyalist Township has been chosen to represent the initiative, and the following visual identity in the bottom right-hand corner of the screen is planned to be used in all communications related to the project. We've also included an example of our influencer stories that we're planning to use in our information blitz in July of this year, where we plan to highlight stories from Township residents, businesses, councillors, and staff about what they are doing to contribute to climate action within Loyalist Township. So we also plan to provide in this information blitz information about how people can participate, ideas for people to reduce their emissions, and information about the township's corporate efforts. And as I said previously, this is planned to continue into December of this year, when we will have our climate action plan developed. Next slide, please. So how can council support this work? So we're hoping, as outlined in the report, that you are wanting to nominate a council representative to sit on our climate action steering committee. We're also hoping that you will participate by suggesting climate action projects and initiatives and supporting those endeavors, and that you will share information with us for our information blitz if you're aware of businesses or individuals in the township who are doing great things to reduce their greenhouse gas emissions, and that you'll support our information blitz that we have planned, and mostly that you're excited to be resilient. And I'm happy to answer any questions, or if you want any other information, happy to provide that as well.
Thank you very much, Ms. Campbell. Council, I'll entertain questions with regard to the report and the project information so far. Then I would look for, and I'd like you to think about this while we're entertaining those questions, look for people to put their name forward if they are interested in, express their interest in sitting on such a committee. And only after that will I look for a motion to indicate that from council. So first off, questions. And any questions with regard to the report and the actions that are planned? Anybody? Very good report, no questions. And then my next question will be to council will be, is there anyone who is interested in stepping forward to participate in that climate action committee? I think we can start with Councillor Townend, and has expressed interest. Are there any other members present who are interested in stepping into such a committee?
I would be available when Nathan isn't, if that's an issue. I'll be. Yeah.
Councillor Buderick is offering to be an alternate. And anyone else? And seeing none, the final statement would be a motion from council to receive for information the project report, and acknowledge that we are interested, I'm assuming, in creating such or participating in such a committee and nominating Councillor Buderick or Councillor Townend to that role. And Councillor Porter, you're so moving. Thank you. Do I have a seconder for that? Councillor Buderick. And Councillor Porter, any comment?
No.
And Councillor Buderick? No. Anyone else? And Councillor Townend?
Yeah, I just want to extend my my thanks to Jenna and Rami for their work on the presentation and the report. There can for sure be absolutely no doubt about the vital and important work of reducing greenhouse gas emissions and transitioning human civilization towards a mutually enhancing presence within the natural world. And the question of if, when, and how the global community arrives at the target reductions necessary to maintain global temperature rise to at or below 2 degrees C can no longer be debated from a sedentary position. The evidence of the projected consequences of inaction are unfathomable, and therefore we must do everything in our power to act quickly and effectively. The immediate and sweeping global response we've witnessed in the wake of COVID-19 has left little doubt that human collaboration across city limits, county lines, provincial, state, and national borders is possible. We can do this. Like many forms of civilizational change, political leadership is imperative at all levels of government. This report sets the stage for Loyalists to be the leader in this endeavor that we need it to be. It outlines an approach in Loyalist that recognizes the imperative need to hit the ground running now. Inevitably, new opportunities will continue to arrive to make it possible for us to exceed our targets, as we should want to do. Yet, though an optimistic and intrepid spirit is necessary to achieve our goals, so is a practical plan. This report recognizes that and references specific realizable target areas for shift change in our corporate operations. The report rightly establishes the necessary priority of the corporation leading from the front, and likewise that community participation needs to be carefully choreographed to ensure that everyone is on board, that everyone buys in, because everyone is needed. I'm extremely proud of the work of staff and the 2 staff named in this report in particular, and I look ahead with enthusiasm and anticipation.
Thank you, Councillor Townend, and I would echo the statement. I'm very proud of Loyalist Township in establishing these goals. 49% in 15 years is a very lofty and worthwhile goal, and I have no doubt that the participants in the committee, and with yourself included, we will work towards that goal in the best way possible. With that, back to the mover for final comment. No? Then I will call the question. All those in favor? Any opposed? Motion is carried. Thank you very much. Thank you, Ms. Campbell.